Welcome to EnglishLab Channel. Tune in to natural fluency.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the English Lab channel. I am so incredibly happy to be here with all of you today. My name is Michelle, and before we say anything else, I just want to send a huge, warm virtual hug to all of our listeners. The support you have shown this channel lately is just mind-blowing. We see your comments, we see your likes, and it truly motivates us to keep creating. I'm feeling particularly energetic today, maybe because I had a great night's sleep. And speaking of great energy, I am here with my wonderful co-host. How is it going today, Chris?
Hello, everyone. I'm Chris, and I am doing fantastic, Michelle. I'm feeling that same energy. And I agree, the community we're building here is just special. Thank you all so much for the support. It really is the fuel for this channel. I am so pumped for today's topic because it sounds like a dream, quite literally. We're going to dive deep into the question, can you actually learn English while you're sleeping? It sounds like a too-good-to-be-true hack, right? But before we get into the science and our 5 tips for doing it right, please, if you like this content and you are getting value from it, do us a quick favor. Hit that like button, subscribe so you never miss an episode, share this with a friend who is also learning, and leave us a comment. We love hearing from you.
You said it, Chris. Subscribing is the best way to stay in the loop. Now, let's get into the dreamy stuff. Chris, have you ever heard of the term hypnopedia? It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie where they plug a wire into your brain and suddenly you know kung fu or a new language.
I wish it was that easy. But yes, Hypnopedia is actually the formal name for sleep learning. There have been studies going back decades, even to the 1950s, trying to figure out if our brains can take in information when we aren't conscious. The theory is that our brain doesn't just shut down like a computer, it stays active, especially during specific sleep cycles.
Right. And modern studies, like one from a few years ago in Switzerland, actually showed that if people listened to new foreign vocabulary during their sleep, they were better at remembering those words the next day compared to people who didn't listen to anything. It's not that you wake up suddenly knowing 5,000 words, but your brain builds these tiny bridges. I think it's because our subconscious mind is much more powerful than we give it credit for.
Oh, that is a very interesting term, Michelle. Subconscious. I've heard it in movies, but could you expand more on what that actually means for our listeners?
I'd love to. Think of your mind like an ocean. The conscious mind is the surface. It's what you see, the waves, the boats, what you're thinking about right now. But the subconscious is everything under the water. It's huge. It holds your memories, your habits, and things you're not actively focusing on. So while the surface of your mind is resting during sleep, the subconscious part, the deep part, is still awake, listening and processing. It's like a recorder that never stops.
That is a perfect explanation. I like the idea of my mind being an ocean. It makes me feel very deep. But honestly, it reminds me of a friend I had in university. Let's call him Mark. Mark was obsessed with passing his Italian exam, but he was so busy working that he had no time to study. He bought these old cassette tapes. Yes, cassettes, and played them every night while he slept.
No way. Did it actually work for him?
Well, it was funny. He didn't wake up speaking Italian like a pro, but he told me that during the exam, he would see a word and he just knew it felt right. He couldn't remember studying it, but the sound was familiar. His cognitive load during the day felt a lighter because his brain had already done some of the pre-work during the night.
That makes so much sense. It's like warming up your muscles before you go for a run. Your brain is already warm with the language. That brings us to our very first tip for the listeners who want to try it. Tip number 1, listen to familiar content. This is vital. Don't try to listen to a high-level lecture on astrophysics in English if you're at a B1 level. Your brain needs a hook. If you listen to a podcast or a story that you already listened to once during the day, your brain recognizes the patterns.
I totally agree. If it's brand new information, the brain might just treat it like noise and ignore it. But if it recognizes a word, it says, "Oh, I know you," and it strengthens that connection. It's all about improving your retention.
Retention. That's another great one. Can you amplify that word a bit more for us, Chris?
Of course, retention is just a fancy way of saying the ability to keep things in your memory. If you have good retention, you don't forget your keys or the new vocabulary you learned yesterday. So the goal of listening to English while you sleep isn't just to hear it, but to increase your retention so that the words actually stay in your head for the long term.
I definitely need more retention in my life, and not just for English. I'm always losing my phone. But back to the tips. This leads us to tip number 3. Keep the volume very, very low. Chris, I have a story about this. My cousin, Sarah, once tried to learn German this way. She was so determined that she put her headphones on and turned the volume up quite high because she thought, the louder it is, the more I will learn.
Oh no, I can guess where this is going.
It was a disaster. She didn't sleep at all. She had these weird, stressful dreams where she was being chased by a giant bratwurst that was shouting German verbs at her. She woke up more tired than when she went to bed, and she hated German for a whole week after that.
A giant bratwurst? That's terrifying. But she made a classic mistake. If the sound is too loud, your brain stays in a light sleep mode, or you wake up completely. You want the English to be like a gentle whisper, or what we call white noise. It should be just a background texture. If you can hear the individual words clearly while you're wide awake, it's probably too loud for sleeping.
Exactly. It's about the oscillation of your brainwaves. You want to stay in a deep sleep state.
Wait, oscillation? That sounds like something from a laboratory. Could you explain that one, Michelle?
It does sound technical. Oscillation just means a regular movement back and forth at a constant speed. Think of a swing at a park going back and forth. Our brainwaves have an oscillation, a rhythm. When we're in deep sleep, that rhythm is slow and steady. If we play loud music or loud talking, we break that oscillation and our sleep quality drops. So keep it low to keep the rhythm steady.
That is a great visual, a swing in the park. Okay, so we have familiar content and low volume. What's tip number 3?
Tip number 3 is consistency is your best friend. This is not a one-night miracle. You can't do it on Tuesday and expect to be fluent on Wednesday. It's like watering a plant. You don't dump a whole bucket of water on it once a month. You give it a little bit every day.
I love that. And honestly, it's about making your brain feel safe with the language. If your brain hears English every single night, it starts to think, okay, this language is part of my environment. It's not a threat. It's normal.
Exactly. And that actually brings us to a wildcard idea, Chris, something a bit different. We usually think of sleep learning as very passive, right? But have you ever heard of lucid dreaming for language learning?
Lucid dreaming? You mean when you know you're dreaming and you can control it?
Yes, it's a bit out there, but some people practice having conversations in English inside their dreams. They meet a dream character and try to order a coffee in English. It sounds crazy, but it's a way to practice without any fear of being judged.
That is wild. I would love to try that. Excuse me, Mr. Dragon, could you tell me the way to the library in English? That would be a fun dream. It's a great reminder that there are so many ways to interact with a language. It doesn't always have to be sitting at a desk with a pen.
Definitely not. Okay, let's move to tip number 4. Focus on the pre-sleep window. This is the 15 to 20 minutes right before you close your eyes. This is when your brain is transitioning from active to resting. If you read a few pages of an English book or listen to a short English story during this time, you are setting the menu for your brain to eat during the night.
That's a great way to put it. Setting the menu. It's like telling your subconscious, hey, this is what we're working on tonight. It prepares your mind to absorb the sounds better.
Absorb. I love that word. It feels very natural. Could you give us one more example of how to use it, Chris?
Sure. Think of a sponge. When you put a sponge in water, it doesn't just touch the water, it takes it all in. To absorb information means to take it in completely so it becomes a part of you. For example, when you live in London, you absorb the British accent without even trying. Or, she was so interested in the book that she absorbed every single detail.
Perfect. We want our brains to absorb the English rhythm while we sleep. And finally, tip number 5, and this might be the most important one, the morning echo.
The morning echo. Tell me more.
When you wake up, your brain is in a very special state. Before you check your emails or look at social media, listen to just 5 minutes of that same English audio you had playing at night. This connects the work your subconscious did during the night to your conscious mind in the morning. It's like finishing a bridge.
I love that. It activates the night's work. I actually tried this once with a list of phrasal verbs. I listened to them at a very low volume while sleeping, and in the morning I played the audio again while I was making my coffee. I realized I was saying the words at the same time as the audio. It was a very cool feeling.
See, it works. It's not magic, but it's a powerful tool in your toolbox.
Absolutely. But Michelle, I think we should be honest with our listeners too. This is a supplement. You still need to do the active work during the day. You still need to speak. You still need to write, and you still need to engage with people. Sleeping with English is like the extra credit at school. It helps you get an A, but you still have to attend the classes.
That is a very important point, Chris. You can't just sleep your way to being a professor, but it makes the journey much smoother and more enjoyable. It turns dead time, time when you're not doing anything, into productive time.
Exactly. And for many of our listeners who are busy parents or have full-time jobs, finding an extra 7 or 8 hours of exposure to the language is a huge advantage.
It really is. I'm thinking about my brother, actually. He's a software developer, and he's always so busy. He started playing English audiobooks, stories he already knew in our native language, while he slept. After a few months, he noticed that his listening comprehension during meetings improved significantly. He didn't feel so lost when people spoke fast.
That's the power of the subconscious. It's always working for you if you give it the right tools. I think we've covered a lot of ground today, Michelle. From science and brainwaves to giant bratwursts.
Yes, it has been quite a journey. I think our listeners have a lot to think about, or a lot to sleep on.
Pun intended. Let's do a quick recap of everything we talked about today so everyone has a clear summary before they go to bed.
Great idea. First, the science. We talked about Hypnopedia and how our subconscious mind can process sounds and reinforce vocabulary while we are in deep sleep. It's not about learning from zero, but about strengthening what we already know.
And we had our 5 tips. Listen to familiar content. Use things you have already studied during the day. Keep the volume low. It should be a whisper, not a shout. Don't ruin your sleep quality. Consistency is key. Do it every night to build a habit and let your brain get used to the sounds. The pre-sleep window. Spend 20 minutes before bed preparing your mind with English content. And the morning echo. Review the same content for a few minutes when you wake up to lock in the learning.
And let's not forget our vocabulary of the day. These are some high-level words that will really make you sound like a pro. Subconscious, the part of your mind that works below your conscious awareness. Cognitive, related to the mental processes of perception, memory, and thinking. Retention, the ability to keep or remember information over time. Oscillation, a rhythmic back and forth movement, like brainwaves or a swing. And absorb, to take in information fully and naturally, like a sponge with water.
What a list! I hope you all enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed making it. We really want to hear from you now. Have you ever tried this? Does it work for you? Or do you think it's just a myth?
Yes, please leave a comment below. Tell us your name, tell us what country you're listening from, and share your experience with sleep learning. We read every single comment and we love getting to know our English Lab family.
We really do. Thank you again for all the likes and the shares. It's because of you that we can keep doing this.
Well, I think it's time for us to sign off. I'm actually feeling a little bit sleepy now after talking about all this.
Me too. I'm going to go home, put on a familiar podcast at a low volume, and let my subconscious do the work.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Stay curious, keep practicing, and we will see you in the next episode.
Happy learning and sweet dreams, everyone. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. See you next time.
Thanks for tuning in. Keep practicing, keep connecting, and don't let your fluency fade to static. Leave us a comment with your stories, hit that subscribe button to join our community, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. See you in the next broadcast.